Everybody loves those, right?
I mean, the more Schadenfreude, the better.
So, if you haven't watched these yet, basically the game after we start the race, like right here, we'll get our characters. We will see some bosses, get one key item, made all of our objectives, which our lovely tracker Alicio has already put down for us. So we will see very shortly what everybody is going to be doing today.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, this is a very interesting first party because usually what you tend to see here for some unknown reason is the game likes to start you off with like some of your weaker mages. Like you get a lot of Tella Edward, Tella Rydia, things like that. We're not in that case here. We've got Kain and Yang. So as long as we find anything resembling a physical weapon at all, the early game is going to be significantly easier than it potentially could be.
Yeah, Kain makes things pretty easy if you find a good weapon early. Yang is actually kind of slow. He's not. He takes some time to get some power of levels, but otherwise, I mean, the Kain itself is a pretty good start.
Yeah, and I know Moonblaze is definitely going to be happy because I was chatting with both of our runners before this just to get a little bit of info, and I know that Kain is Moonblaze's favorite character. Not necessarily in his favorite endgame party, but definitely his favorite character, so it's always fun to have your favorite character when you start the game.
So let's see what objectives the guy gives us. Hey, there you go, Magnus. Sealed Cave, Edward. Got to forge the crystal. The waterfall boss. So the waterfall boss is the one easy one in that one. Not require anything except the little ducking into this little waterfall under the pool.
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually a fun thing to bring up the Cave Magnus there because, again, one of the things I was talking with both of our runners about here, and that's actually both of them, that is their favorite goal to get because we all like to self-indulge with whatever the Twin Harp song is.
I should apologize. Damsian was what I meant. Because we got a Flame Spear for Kain and the... this is a pretty solid opening little Damsian treasure room for Moonblaze, so good. Probably going to raise the hovercraft because it's very likely with as many objectives as we have that you're going to need the hovercraft anyway, so do it right off the bat here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not sure if you caught this over on Crim's side there, but we had the CPU as the first boss in the Baron Inn. So we're getting our contingent of orbs in here early.
That's a great... I mean, the last thing you want when you have a party of attackers like this is find CPU at a spot where he has a lot of HP and it just takes forever to whittle down. The backside of Hobbs immediately, not a bad play at all. He's got a Flame Spear, so shouldn't be that difficult. And of course the backup is the Gaia Drum. Got Booper and Hotbot over here.
I mean, Flame Spear for Hotbot, it makes sense.
And on Hobbs, we've got a Rosa. So that'll make everybody happy.
Especially with the water.
Yeah, the water hack also. Well, the water hack, actually, this is a great spot for it because you don't have to do any damage. You just have to hit 3 times, and then you get, I think, 5,000 experience out of this fight, so that's a pretty nice start.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Also, I am loving the names right now over on Moonblaze's side. Hotbot, Booper, and my personal favorite, I promise I won't do that again. No.
I'm scared of bees. So, did we get a character in Kaipo?
I didn't see if we got the Kaipo check or not. I was enthralled by the bees. Although our lovely tracker says it was, quote, a crummy old man.
Oh, well, everybody loves the crummy old man. Not actually a huge deal the way this worked out. Obviously, in seeds where you have a character objective like this one where you're trying to fight Edward, early.
Yeah, it's always disappointing when you get the character objective and it's Edward because you're like, oh, means I have to actually find him, and then no one ever feels good about having to find Edward.
I guess you didn't watch Project Dia's match, did you?
Okay, most people don't feel good having to find Edward.
So okay, the outlay of the objectives is basically you need 4 key items and 1 character. Good for our runners in that they're not going to have to go us, because bosses can potentially be buried in some trolley spots. But the character is still going to leave them probably emphasizing locations that have characters. So you'll probably see Earth Crystals get checked early if that gets popped up. You'll probably see Baron Key get checked early if that pops up, etc.
Yeah, and there's really not a whole lot we can do with the item we have to start off here with, because it was the tower key and we don't have any underground access currently. So yeah, we are definitely in find your key items.
Nice little Gungnir spear hanging out in the Antlion cave, so that was a nice little prize.
Well, we are 2 for 2 on having the push button receive toy bosses here, because we had Water Hag and now we've got Dark Knight's Vessel. So yeah, pretty easy start.
Who rolled the seed? It's too easy. I demand a refund.
I mean, it wasn't me, because if it was me, there would be a required Golbez, a required Ogopogo fight, and it would be all kinds of crazy. I definitely had nothing to do with it.
Notice that I didn't blame TG at all, but he was still leaning heavily into the brand of being blamed.
Hey, if you got a brand, you got to stick with it.
So we get Artemis arrows here. Not a bad find. Samurai bow that they picked up in Antlion, also going to lead to potentially a high-powered Rosa. So that remains to be seen if they want to spend all those Artemis arrows, though, early on.
Yeah, that's just one of those preference questions there. Do you want to, quote-unquote, waste them early when you don't have a full team and you have a chance to have that high-powered Rosa? Or do you want to wait and use them a little bit later when it might be slightly more beneficial to do that on a tougher boss, something like, I don't know, Golbez. Forget about Golbez, it's not mentioned.
I'm sure he won't pop up. There's no chance.
I really want him to be at the Fabul Gauntlet now. Which, speaking of the Fabul Gauntlet, the actual fight itself, I love the new change that happened here. Also, Lunar is quite possibly one of my favorite fights to see no matter where it is. But I love the change with the Fabul Gauntlet now that wherever it is in the game, you get a spattering of enemies from that area. Love that change.
Yeah, it's a lot less fun when you run into if you've never seen that one, yeah, good luck with that one. But everything else, it's pretty cool.
All right, so we got a question here in chat, and I'll default to you. As someone who doesn't quite understand Free Enterprise, are those 5 goals a pick your own thing, or is it all 5 in order, or what? So if you want to mind, just go ahead and get the quick rundown of how the goals work.
So the game keeps track of each goal you accomplished in a different order. It just gives you 5 random objectives at the very start, and from there, you get to decide, you get to do whatever you want, and that's the rule. So, very key item 4 right now.
Yeah, so speaking of the key items here, for those who might not necessarily know how all of this works, if this is your first time watching it, the way that the game can shuffle where the key items are can vary depending on what set of flags that you have selected. Here, if my memory serves me correctly, they are at the regular locations where you could get them, in monster chests and the summons in Bahamut and Land of the Eidolons.
Not in the trap chest, but there are there is one chest in the Eidolons, yeah.
All right, so yeah, so basically, if it's a spot where basically it's a boss fight that would give you something in the vanilla game, then it's going to have potentially give you a key item. There isn't enough key items to go around some of the time, so that's why, like you see here with the Antlion, you get the Artemis arrows as opposed to, well, the sand ruby that you would get in the vanilla game.
Right, there's only, I think it's 16 key items, 17 key items that are actually in the game. So when we invite, we're not always going to have key items in every spot.
Right, because as an example, if you go and liberate Baron and defeat the Kainazo spot in the vanilla game, the quote-unquote key item that you get there is the Enterprise. Well, we start with that, so that obviously can't be there.
Our check from moonblazewolf. Pretty dry item shop, but those tents could come in handy early on. A lot of runners will it has, there's nothing special about it, but everything is so close together. You get the items anyway, you're getting some treasure, and there's a nice cursed ring. Our man moonblazewolf pounds all over that. The cursed ring will lower agility by 15, so it's a really, and something that a lot of runners will actually search for shops in these flags.
Yeah, so I'm assuming then with this flags, the agility is based off of, for Zeramis is based off of whoever is your middle slot in your party, not guaranteed to be Cecil if you have.
Correct, yes. Barely based on middle slot character. Yeah, if White Spear was in that shop, that would be big news indeed, but the way the logic worked out for this is standard. So anything below tier 5 is available to be in the shop, everything above it is not. I believe tier 7, so you will not see that in a shop in these flags. There are definitely versions of the game where you will see that.
Not gonna lie, one of my favorite ways to play this is just to basically go around and play in what I refer to as the all cheats Grand Theft Auto mode, where everything's in the shop, everything costs 0 money, and you just go around blowing everything up.
Yeah, we actually did an entire during the World Series of Free Enterprise, and some of the finish times were like sub 10 minutes, so you can take out a seed that fast if you really.
Yeah, that was the Apple stuff, right?
Yeah, that was the Apple stuff, yep.
Apples, yep. Just goes to show you, everybody, that eating your apples is a good decision.
So I think,
also, go ahead.
I think moonblazewolf never came here in the first place, so now he's kind of decided if he's going to grapple with this. It looks like he's going to take this fight and try to free for him from the Baronet.
Yep, and the hard part isn't going to be the CPU fight here. It's going to be whoever is in the second slot here, which would normally be the Yang.
Very low amount of HP because it's based on the 2-guard fight that's here normally, whereas Yang in the vanilla FF2 US game has, I think, 4. A little bit more of a fight here coming up.
Speaking of the guards,
as well, spells and attacks will have these guys counter with either piggy or size, depending. Probably we'll see some piggies or sized midi, I guess that's what they're called, characters pop out here. But otherwise, this shouldn't be a terrible. They will hit hard though.
Yeah, we can see the switch to the mute dagger there just to attempt to try and get some, or you can just, killing them works too.
Yeah, the mute dagger does quad damage to these guys because they technically in the game are counted as mages.
Okay, fair enough.
I guess the logic was they're wearing capes, so why not? Why not be a mage?
Hey, speaking of things that are somewhat vanilla, we had a French vanilla guards, and now we've got a vanilla Baron key.
Yeah, Yang decided that he just just leave his computer on and running and see what happened. So there you go.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So does Moonblaze go right for that Baron key, or is he going to hit up Ordeals first? It's also possible that we have a Troll Misdragon hiding, but it's much more likely that it's in one of those two spots. And I don't think we've seen anybody actually check Waterfall Boss yet, or Mist Boss, so...
No, I don't think either of them have. I mean, the Waterfall Boss, like you mentioned at the beginning, is just one of those where it's like, okay, that's easy. I can do that whenever I need.
Right, and it could be somebody hard like Wyvern too. Like, it's not impossible, but Moonblaze making the Baron key play. This is kind of a nervous play. Yeah, put this one off, only because if something really mean is on the throne, you're getting a lot of time walking back out. But we'll see if this game will pays off for him.
Well, wasn't it Leviathan who was at the Vigan spot?
I believe so, yeah. Leviathan was the second boss that you're worried about here.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. But it's still one of those things where Leviathan, to me, like, yes, I know it's Vigan spot, doesn't have a whole lot of HP, but the fact that it has semi-powerful AoEs and you only have a small amount of characters still worries me. That's just me, though. I'm paranoid.
No, I mean, it can get out of hand too. We'll see if Moonblaze knows all that. So that's a plus. Got a Thunderclaw. I'm gonna go switch to lit arrows even. Okay, so we're going full out on the Leviathan.
The guards over on the left-hand side on Crim's side, not playing very nicely in the sandbox. Taking down both Kane and Rosa before the Hourglass 2 shows up. Unfortunately, they still got some attacks in. Thankfully, though, they have at least stopped for now.
Just barely.
Hey, it's only a game over if everything says 0.
And you saw Moonblaze clear that spot a little faster by using his Gaia drums. Crim's inventory, but choosing to save them, not necessarily a bad play. We'll see what it pops up, but just kind of noting different as far as how fast something is.
Yeah, Leviathan over there on Moonblaze's side, not taking a very much a liking to Forum there, as well, doing the best impression of, well, a floor guard that one can.
I mean, honestly, who does? So, I get it. I get it, Leviathan.
I mean, yes, I agree with you. I don't blame Leviathan in the slightest there for going after the considerably less desired of the two Wonder Twins.
Picked up. I think we picked up two drains. That's interesting, at least. Porum being low level actually could help here if it's something nasty. Have a decent anchor. I don't know if that could also be something you would do here.
Well, not the scariest fight there at the throne room.
No. And you got a Thunderclaw, so that hits both Balnab and the second form of Blue Gaze weakness. So that is that for Moonblaze here.
Although I do like the fact that this fight is so much weirder without the dancing Calbrena music.
Probably just this weird doctor guy and, like, I don't know. Where does that haircut? What would you even see that haircut comes?
Which one, Dr. Luge or Balnobs?
Balnobs.
I mean, Balnob just looks like Dr. Luge just got done watching the Street Fighter movie and is trying to beguile.
That's a good comparison for sure. He's Van Damme in it.
He is totally Van Damme.
Now the real fight, wherein Booper uses power and kicks Dr. Luggage's butt.
Well, we've got an Antlion in the waterfall as Crim is taking care of that. Yeah. Never a bad thing to see Antlion here because there are certain spots where Antlion can be Rubicon takeoff, where it's just absolutely brutal.
Yeah, any boss that is fast and has a lot of attacks spots for sure. We see a Palom or a Valkyr hanging out in Baron Castle. So Moonblaze now at 5 characters. Going to take the long walk down and see what's in the Baron basement.
And the funny thing about Moonblaze over there getting the double the double twins there, if it was 2 Porums, which you said Palom though, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I was gonna say if it was double character would be funny because again back to the conversation I was having with both runners before the match. Moonblaze's least favorite character is in fact Porum, which was actually hilarious when it came to seeing Porum sitting there on the ground guarding the.
I always knew Moonblaze had good taste. I mean, he still does Fabul early, so I'm not a fan of that. But otherwise, here, so that should inflame the passions of the Twitch chat.
I mean, I did just mention the Rubicante spot, so.
I would personally do Ordeals before diving that hook, but if somebody really wanted to gamble, I could totally see just. And the party you've got is not bad. You probably want to do a chest on the way so you can get some experience, get some berserks going, but otherwise, not bad at all. See, Dr. Luggage's poison has lingered for Moonblaze, why his screen is all blurry. That's not just Twitch lag or something.
Also, I'm totally now just continuing to refer to him as Dr. Luggage because that is amazing.
Well, you play a game for, it's been like 5 years now? Like, you come up with some good nicknames along the way, I guess.
yeah, I mean, you have to. You definitely have to. There are definitely in-jokes among all the different games, depending on, how long you've played it and all that. So, definitely I can agree with.
Is going to take care of his Antlion, get his number 4 lit up here on our gorgeous tracker that Scala Kitty spent a lot of time working on.
I mean, yeah, 100%. The tracker here, and not just the tracker here for free enterprise, but if you're watching anything here on the Randomania networks, all of the trackers, both what it looks like to you guys here up front and the behind-the-scenes operation of it, they're both just mwah. And yes, I did do the whole chef's kiss thing when I did that. My hand was in the air. I was full Italian chef. Mwah.
I believe you. I believe you. And yet, also,
yeah, definitely a shout out there to both Scala Kitty and Captain Nuhu. And we'll be doing a lot of shouting out of Scala Kitty and all that because a lot of the different palettes, most of the art that you see when you're going through Xeramis, that is all coming from her. And yeah, like I need to shout out, it's already been shouted out in the chat, but I need to shout out how that Rosa palette is sublime.
yeah, Scala deserves a lot of credit for. That's one thing that if you don't know, if you're new to this game, what you should know is that Scala is awesome, and you should deal with that.
I mean, that's the best way of putting it. You are 100% correct.
So Moonblade is actually going to dive this trying to see the character and the boss make a decision before he goes, or if he's actually fully committed or not.
Well, either way, the character here is free, so there's no harm in chasing after that part.
Wouldn't it be nice if it was Edward saying,
I mean, yes, and just to confirm here, so it says get Edward. It doesn't mean keep Edward in your party.
correct, you can dismiss him immediately and it still counts as meeting the objective. So we had sirens and coffins in that shop. That's not particularly good on a grinder with me.
I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on the grind you're going to do, because, with looking for Edward, we could end up having to search the giant. I mean, if you're in the giant, it makes sense to do the D-Machine grind. So, I mean, it definitely would there. Well, we've got some cleaning equipment here in the cave.
Yeah, it's rare, that rare Fusoya brand of mop that sets you on fire. Tough break for either Mylon or Mylon Z there. And with Fu in tow, I can see this being even more of like a keep going. Sorry for...
I mean, I'm not surprised at all.
I'm also not actually sorry.
I mean, I didn't think you were, but I mean, the precedent, like the thought was nice.
Yeah, it was a good thing to say. It made me feel good that it's not actually true.
Right, but I mean,
yeah, I got a question, and as Gambit pointing out in chat, I've got a question. Simbu instead of Simfu.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I didn't want to draw attention to it, but I definitely agree. Simfu should have been the name. Although, speaking of names, I wouldn't be surprised if Crim kept all of the rest of his names the same, and then named Edward after me just to troll me.
People troll you?
I mean, yes.
Huh. Why?
I mean, have you met me?
Not in person.
Yes, you have.
No, that's never happened.
You're just not admitting to it, okay? I'm about to say, I know there's a picture involved.
So yeah, this poison walk has been something's going on here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's poison.
Everything. And you see the Balnab Z pop up on CrimsonAvix's screen, but time. And we are one form of Dr. Luggage away from receiving the hook for...
But now here comes the ultimate question. Now that Crim is also going to be done the Dr. Luggage fight, and he is also poisoned, does Crim do the poison walk and we're subjected to it no matter what now?
I mean, sometimes you just gotta go fast.
Well, I mean, yes.
So, who are we gonna see here hanging out in that one spot, which could also be pretty dangerous, by the way.
Well,
not at all bad.
Nope, not at all indeed. Although, we change!
Yeah, Me Change really shows, I think, that Dark Elf is committed to changing, which makes him, unlike most characters, not stagnant at all. So, I'm a big fan.
Yes, but can you really? Because if he says me change, that also implies he's wearing pants. Because you have to change out of them or change into something that might be pants. So 50-50 on whether you like it or not?
I mean, he's kind of wearing a vest, right? Like, he's rocking that, so... Done.
I mean, let's be honest, he's just a remake Astos wannabe.
I will not stand for you. The only person in the entire overworld who managed to keep a crystal away from Golbez. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, true. I mean, you're not true. Not wrong.
I am
definitely true. Yeah, you
I
are
am definitely true.
Go home, Tej. You're clearly drunk.
I am definitely alive and a person. here's Crim taking that hook and going right to Ordeals. He might get some better spells out of this for Fu when he actually does hook. So that's one little thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, and for those who might not know what we're talking about, as you just saw pop up on Moonblaze's side there, every time you defeat a boss, you unlock another 3 spells for Fu. So you have to go through and unlock kill a bunch of bosses to get a fully powered up Fu. Thankfully, the Fu that you see Moonblaze have right now is, fairly strong. I saw some Cure 4, I saw some Exit.
Yeah, and he just got Quake. Look good against Mylon Z, but that Cure 4 is about to do some work.
Quack.
I'm sorry, was there a duck in here?
Well, it's either a duck or a goose, your choice.
So we're switching off of the Artemis arrows here, going to the white arrows. Honestly, any arrows are fun against Mylon Z, so not really a bad thing either way.
And over on the left side, we've got Plague. Plague is one of those interesting bosses, because I know as a kid, he scared the crap out of me. But the reason he scared the crap out of me as a kid is because of what you see here, Countdown and Haste. The Haste doesn't increase the death clock timer.
Right, it actually just makes your characters go faster, so he's really doing you a favor. That's what matters. And yeah, that's an easy spot for Plague. So Krem is about to get to the Mylon Z fight here, which is another star.
Pale dim. So again, not the star you're scared of.
A guy you can lose a surprising amount of time on. In this case, I believe we got those Artemis arrows, so if Crim went with pretty quickly, as it is, you don't have anybody in this fight that has to just attack straight up, so not getting a...
But as was mentioned in the chat there again by our lovely tracker, is the fact that the 2 moon bosses left are the 2 you are technically going to be the most scared of, that being Ogopogo and Wyvern.
So Blaze is the first one on the ground. We see Golbez hanging out at the top of tower. So that's kind of a slow spot for him. We died that immediately with that tower key. They're not scared of anything. It's just not as ideal as it could be.
Yeah, no.
And Krim is about to dive here into key item payoff, hopefully.
I mean, back to Golbez being at the top of the tower, I'd much rather have Golbez be at the top of the tower than be, say, in the Leviathan spot.
We've got a rat tail.
And we've got at least one fiend. Nope, we've got all of them.
We might have 2 of them here. 2 max, I think. The way the fiends work is they're programmed to switch based on HP thresholds. That's one of the thresholds. All of them die. We've got Moonblaze doing the end. If you haven't played FF4FE Enterprise before, one of the things that you can do with your Sirens, which summon the most unlikely enemy, is find this little egg, which has a yellow dragon in it that gives 34,000 experience. And very common to see runners. A couple of Sirens and eat some eggs, make some omelets, what have you, and gain some experience to make the rest of the underground easy.
I promised myself I would do very hard to stay away from making any egg puns tonight, and you're not making any.
Am I making it?
The only good thing is nobody can see me facepalming right now.
I live to steal jobs. Oh, we got a Shura here. So not exactly on cut, but kind of mute stuff, which I think we saw mute arrows, but I'm not sure which runner that was for.
I mean, I know we have the mute dagger, so.
Also, Fu's here, so too.
Not gonna lie though, like the dancing, like the jumping up and dancing thing is one of my favorites. Depending on who's there, because there's just something funny about seeing Golbez jumping up and down and dancing.
Oh, we got a rune axe, so that makes it easy. No, Golby just gotta let loose sometimes. What do you think of what is on Golbez's playlist?
That's a good question. I mean, he portrays as like dark, ominous. It's totally Taylor Swift, isn't it?
I wouldn't know. I stopped listening to dark, ominous music in like 2002, but I would think Golbez could jump around to that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, let's be honest. Golbez definitely has at least one Taylor Swift song on there, because every time Kane betrays him, he totally goes back and listens to Teardrops in My Guitar. Let's be honest.
You think he's mad that Kane leaves? I think he's happy that Kane leaves. I think he's like, finally.
I mean, he could be. I mean, and I have no idea. Bad Blood works too, definitely. I'll give you that one. I guess. I mean, one of the characters in this game has to have "Fly Me to the Moon" on their playlist, though, don't they?
And we've got a Rydia here, so no Edward yet. Rydia gets quickly dismissed because 30 HP, and we're about to finish off our Mylons. This Mylon is actually. I think this Quake would kill the entire thing. The remakes butchered this, but one of the best lines in FF4 period is, "Oh, my body."
It really is, and a close second still is Fall Flat into the Deep Ravine.
Was and now the lobster hand here just gonna wander around. Maybe.
I mean,
you're just gonna sit there and watch it because why not?
Yeah. Best hand is still Miss Dragon Hand.
Yes. And terrifying, I agree.
So Crim, going to go ahead and turn in the Rat Tail. Not going to lie, playing this game growing up when I was a randomizer, didn't even know you could do this, didn't even know this existed.
We've got a Darkness Crystal at Dwarf Castle.
That is good. That is technically access to a couple of characters, because you get the Moon character and you get access to the Giant of Babel character.
Yeah, this seed really just opened up for Moon. It now has a ton of potential key item locations to check, and character locations, as you say, looking for Edward as well. Fly me to the moon, indeed.
But since we're talking about like music and playlists and sounds and all that, I have to ask the question: vanilla game, best sound effect in the game?
The best sound effect?
Yeah, best sound effect.
Oh, it's definitely Virus.
Okay. Virus, I don't disagree, but also Porum Thwacking Palom was also very good. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Rivers McCown doing Virus. Stay tuned next week when we get banned from Twitch.
So we've got some Bacchus wines here. That's going to be good for our attackers, which we've got 2 right now. And you see Moonblaze making about to the same kind of investment for Sirens and Coffins, it looks like.
Yeah, and seeing Moonblaze pick up those Bacchus wines there doesn't surprise me at all, because again, his favorite strategy to kill Zeramis with is Berserkers. So it does not surprise me at all in the slightest picking up those back.
Did not check the random dwarf job, so By meme law, I must disqualify him, though he's still allowed to continue playing.
Well, I'm not going to get in the way of meme law, but you're right. I agree with you. You know, like we'll have to wait. If Crim checks the dwarf job, then we're good. But
you know, I think bees might actually make up for the sin. You know, I think that might be enough.
It might be. It's awfully tough, though.
We'll have to find some impartial judges or admin somewhere. Not here, because I'm not one of them, obviously.
And neither am I. I mean, we could default to chat.
Chad, what do you think? Moonblade is actually doing the tower key check here first. Yang is actually really tough in some spots. This is not one of them because he has like 800 HP.
Yeah, this has been a super generous seed so far.
Well, the gold best spot isn't like optimal for sure. I mean, the bosses that we've been given and the characters that we have been pretty simple, pretty plug and play.
Right, but the one thing about having Golbez being a spot where you can see him initially is that you can go in prepared for. Like, you can go in, oh, hey, I know I'm not going to be able to do this. You can go in with moon veils and reflect, and you can be ready for him there.
So the problem with Golbez in this spot, to elaborate a little bit, is not that he's difficult, but would rather have Golbez kill himself with his spells, and the magic power at the top of the tower is pretty low because in vanilla that's Dr. Lugate. So what's going to happen is instead of Golbez killing himself, we're going to need our Simbu, should be Simfu. Load here.
And yeah, that is the unfortunate part. It's always fun when you just get the one moon veil off and Golbez is in a spot where you're just like, yep, okay, now go ahead and you shoot your magic back at yourself. I'm going to go to the bathroom, grab a coffee, pop some popcorn. But there is something extremely disconcerting fighting Golbez to Dancing Calbrena.
Yeah, I mean, as we discussed earlier, he's got some good jams, you know.
Yeah, he definitely does, and like we mentioned earlier, Golbez jumping around dancing. It's what we're all here for. Also, this coming up is one of my favorite changes that happened in the randomizer. Is the oh hey, I've got Shadow Dragon. Let's kill all these people and then dismiss him because quote, guess he's full.
Yeah, that was a good board baseline for sure. It came with some pretty good ones, but that was one that was all him from the beginning because we had to figure out a way to make this fight feel vanilla without really being vanilla.
And I mean, if you're gonna have Shadow Dragon kill off 3 party members, leaving Kane and Fu isn't the worst too.
Try a little harder, man. Have you been listening to too much ha 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 soundtracks again?
When I do that.
So here comes Duke. And if you have... Basically, Nuke is the all-purpose weapon for most bosses. As long as they don't have a counter to it, with Reckless Abandon do a lot of damage. And what we're going to do here is throw it out with Reckless Abandon.
I mean, there is nothing wrong with Reckless Abandon.
Well, there's the part where it's reckless.
From an entertainment standpoint, there's nothing wrong with Reckless Abandon.
So this spot has 18,000 HP. You can see the hotbot here at 1,000 a turn, 600 you see. Nuke is going to take gold eyes down in 3 shots, basically. That's how powerful that spell is.
Yeah, and that 4,800 was on the low side of damage rolls.
Definitely the easy button for free enterprise seeds is when you look around. We've got a legend that is required. That is required for the forge. So that is one of the four key items we need.
Yeah, Twin Harp, Legend Sword, Adamant, and Luca Key. At least the one good thing about needing the Luca Key is you only have to unlock the sealed cave. You don't have to go into it.
Sealed cave is great. Fight me.
But that means I have to fly, halfway across the country.
No, we could just do it right here. It's okay.
We could, but that's not nearly as fun.
I think it's pretty entertaining.
I mean, I'm down for it. I'm just trying to, not get us, banned.
Don't engage with Rivers. He's in a feisty mood tonight.
I mean, I had some jokes in the can ready to go, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna behave. I'm gonna be nice. But considering what we're playing and your location, there were a couple of jokes that wrote themselves.
So we got a white spear out of that, which isn't amazing. Best weapon, and that will help this party in particular, obviously. So Moon probably feeling pretty good about himself right now. Definitely push that Darkness Crystal out, so that's kind of interesting. Like we could see some divergence later if Crim gets it. One of the big things in free enterprise seeds is kind of figuring out where you're at with team power. Than other times to fully, take over a seed. This is one of the times when you have Fu, so you really need that much more damage to supplement him. And so I guess Moonblaze is kind of just going to play this a little conservatively and not try to grind early at all. Egg, or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's no need to here. We're still looking for a character, so it makes sense just to keep going on. And wow, Dark Elf getting our first party wipe of the evening. Not what I was expecting to see.
Yeah, that's a spot where you happen to put somebody in the middle who is very fast like Fu. I mean, anybody can be dangerous like that, so that's a rookie error, right? Yeah.
Well, we have one of our 2 remaining Lunar bosses here in the Leviathan spot, and it is going to be, that's not the fun one.
Team Wyvern Hype. And we also have the Fabul Gauntlet there, so that's a pretty easy spot, actually. I could see both of these fights being fairly easy to take. Is going to keep going through there. With Fu, hard really fought him. Fu. Jack pointing at the clapper grind just pop clapper in this gauntlet. It's otherwise a very summoner heavy gauntlet, but there's also one vanilla clapper.
All right, there we go. We got the Star Veils off in time, so Mega Nuke not going to kill off the whole party.
His battle speed enough that I think he gets 3 or 4 off here. So that's the easy part of the fight. Now the part happens where we're trying to do 20,001 damage to Wyvern while he keeps on nuking us. Nuke, of course, helps us out tremendously as well, but this is the part that makes this fight a little bit more iffy.
Yeah, this is always the part when I look and try to play this, I'm like, I have a general idea what I'm doing. Then we get trolly things like this, I'm like, yeah, no, I definitely don't have enough knowledge to do this right now.
And Moonblaze is going to exacerbate this a little bit by casting the Berserk on bees. It's going to be reflected because she put the Star Mail up.
No, not the bees, not the bees.
The bees and these. And you can see Blaze lowered his battle speed before this fight. Typically fights at Enterprise are on battle speed 1. This is battle speed, I think he put it to like 4 or 5. So he kind of, that this fight is going a little slower than the normal ones. That's on purpose. It's also a good thing as far as keeping your characters alive. It's kind of a trade-off in strategy versus time.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where dying 3 times at the fast battle speed is going to be slower than not dying at all on the slow battle speed.
Wyvern is down. What is the reward?
Not at all what we were hoping for.
Actually, not at all. At this, well, I mean, Heroine Robe is really good for certain setups, and we do have the things right now that would make a beast if we wanted to throw that on her. But absolutely not what you're looking for. You're looking for progression and key items.
Yep, over on the left-hand side, Mylon Z getting jumped on and burnt to a crisp with Fire 3 and Jump respectively, and some Fire 2, just for good measure.
So Blaze, it looks like, is going to attempt this fight. He's going to be very happy when he does, because it's one of those things where, yeah, you think you might run into like the Arachnes here, but you really don't. It's a lot of summoners. He is still on a low bat speed, though, looks like.
And with the defeat of Mylon Z over on Crim's side, he now also has full access to the underground.
Takes that Dark Crystal from Dwarf Castle and immediately runs up with it. We could see some real divergence here. Otherwise, it's going to be, you know, screen for a while, unfortunately. There hasn't really been anything super great taken out. I think the only spot the Baron Castle basement once we get through this gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, looking at what we have access to, yeah. I mean, Baron Castle basement, then, you know, time to get baited by the moon.
At this point, you need the moon almost. I mean, you can't have, unless you find a pan in the bottom of this or something, extra key item somewhere. I guess we haven't seen the vanilla Sheila 1 check. That's still on the table too. But yeah, these conjurers are actually pretty easy. If it's a battle speed thing that's making it take a little bit longer than it should, but really you can just knock these guys out with one nuke and it...
So Crim taking the time to save before going into the Land of the Summoned Monsters. I point that out specifically because I know whether it's playing this or other randomizers that suggest you save or heavily suggest you save, he has a tendency to forget to do it and cost himself a lot of time. So to see him take the time to save there in case something crazy happens with the chests, I'm proud of him.
Yeah, Crim doing a lot of looting so far. I think he full looted the entire cave emblem. I mean, you can see that even though he's been more thorough in his checks on the overworld, uh, not, I mean, made him put him behind a little bit.
Yeah, he hasn't got anything so game breaking that the checks are going to be like, hey, you're good. This is going to be a huge advantage for you. Yeah, we haven't seen any of that stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing for this is very random. It just literally makes every chest that's not a trap chest be completely random as far as what it gives the parameters that we set up at the beginning. If you go to T Pro, you get a little bit more bang for your buck as far as that's coming in the brackets.
Yeah, so there's the clapper fight that you were talking about earlier. Just in a palette swap with a Shadow Dragon.
Yeah, Clapper they had the Artemis arrow, so that made that fight pretty easy. But not actually a very easy fight in general.
Not
this
gonna
party
lie.
happens to be very well situated.
Not an enemy I knew even existed. Also, we got a mass immune there in that warrior chest. Good item. Unfortunately, we seem to be missing something for it.
Well, I'm sure Edge will show up at some point, right? I mean, it's not like he's ever gone missing on one of these seats.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna jinx anything, but what I am gonna say is spoon.
So a lot of time spent down here, and really not a lot of payoff when you think about it. We did get a magma key, and we got a spoon. Those are key items, but otherwise they haven't really helped out a lot. So we'd probably regroup for Ordeals, or you can try the Barren Basement.
Yeah, that is the other advantage that Crim, quote unquote, has, is Crim did take the time to go ahead and do Ordeals, so he at least does have that.
Right, if you're looking at the tracker and wondering where that rat deals, didn't give you anything, so not really an advantage, but something that Crim can catch up with if we have. It looks like it's going to be Barren Castle Basement for Moonblaze. This is actually a pretty rough. As we keep saying, once you have food with a nuke, it really kind of changes the calculus a little bit. Makes you a little bit more willing to try them. Definitely kind of the seed putting on your plate for sure.
Yeah, and Castle Basement is always an interesting spot just because of how fast, quote unquote, Odin is.
And hanging out in the basement, we've got something incredible easily in the seed. So the officer soldier fight from these officers that are technically back road actually have very low accuracy. So Deep was extremely low level. You can come here and probably take care of this, and you can see the quake just tearing up all of the soldiers.
Yeah, so
you gotta escape.
As we said, this seed so far has been super generous with its troll location.
Yeah, that Wyvern tower is pretty tough, but otherwise, we got a Luca key. We're going to the sealed cave, baby.
And I mean, that is a required item because, as you can see, goal number 5, unlock the sealed cave. So Barren Basement is required here.
3, which is my favorite kind of required. Moonblaze running into the inventory boss here.
I'm going to go ahead and pick up 90 of the samurai arrows.
He must be committed to that Rosa as a physical damage dealer.
There we go. Crim did check the job, dwarf.
Well, I guess we got to disqualify one of these players, and it isn't Crim.
Nope. Although I'm not entirely sure how one becomes a ceramic engineer.
Hop on the kiln for about 2 years.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I knew if I set that up that you would kill him that joke.
So okay, we got the sealed cave requirement out of the way. That's already done in the book. We unlocked it, but also because as far as he knows, it's one of 3 places he could still get progression that aren't on the moon.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with the let's not go to the moon unless we have to.
See, I would be a lot more tempted to take this to the moon because you have the food, because you know you can get enough. There's a lot bigger chance. I'm not saying that I'd be there right now, but I also probably would have checked the free spots. Sheila 1 check in particular.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Like I said, you know a lot more about this game. You've played a lot more than I have with this. My experience with this consists of playing half a seed back before objectives were even a thing. So that's my knowledge of the randomizer physically playing it. But I agree with you there. 100% do want to do all the free checks that I can get my grubby hands on.
And that is just a pink tail, which is not required in any way.
Just a pink tail.
We see the reset. So pigtail off the board. You could debate that it's worth keeping here only 10 key items, but Moonblaze choosing not to take it. And fair enough. I mean, he's got a good party already. Doesn't need levels that bad. So as far as Moonblaze knows, he's got 2 options left before doing Darkness Crystal, which is Ordeals and Sheila 1. Defeating Ordeals, which is working out for him, you gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We got the rat tail out of Ordeals, which only led to some fruit. But if you notice on Crim's side, his side trip to Ordeals is going to make his work down here in the underground a little bit easier because, as you just saw, all foos are now at full power.
Another dismiss Rydia.
Savages, I tell you, savages.
So, alright, we could have got this item that Moonboy is about to check, the ski item spot, like at the very beginning of Underworld Access. I don't blame him, but it's interesting to see what it's going to be because it's one of those things where it's just like gnawing at the back of your mind as you're doing all the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I think for me it's one of those where I would have gone and checked Yang, so I had this next time I went up, just so I, can say set it, forget it, I'll take it. And hey, that's a good check because now we can forge the crystal because that was the adamant.
Yeah, that was required. A required Sheila 1 check. So after that, we'll be down to Harp and needing Edward from moonblazewolf.
And we have access to all the character slots, if I'm correct, except for the package.
We don't have the Earth Crystal waiver.
So Earth Crystal, that's right. Yes.
There are. We've already seen Sam Ruby, so we're counting that. And of the, what is it now? 5 slots left that we don't know about. We have access to only 2 of them.
But yeah, I mean, if it turns out that Edward is in Giant or at Foo, then we are one key item away from getting out of here.
No overworld check left behind for moonblazewolf. Doing Ordeals.
Nope.
Krem is about to get that adamant, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. The problem is he hasn't done the tower climb yet, which is the Legend Sword.
Yeah, but he will make up some time here because of getting the adamant. Right now, Moonblaze is doing Ordeals as well, so things will even up a little bit more.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if Krim went and checked the tower first before heading back to Sheila. But just going to say, nope, I'm going to head back up because we have the Sheila check. He also has access to Baron Basement check if he wants to do that.
One thing it's late though is that it's very easy. You can't say it's not easy. It's very slow to watch those nuke orbs bounce into the rotation. It's very laggy, but it is very easy. And look, here's a whale that's getting raised.
I mean, go for the free character check. You definitely mentioned going for the free checks here, and not necessarily sure, we're only doing the character check here because we are looking for Eddie. Because, Fu, Yang, Palom, Kane, and Rosa, that's a pretty good part.
Yeah, I mean, once you but you're getting the Legend Sword and Adamant in the seed, you also do kind of want to see Cecil. Like, that wouldn't be bad either. But if you went to Z... And yeah, as our restreamer Poydrak points out, Krim has passed on Fey March so far.
Also, honest question, how many people when they were growing up playing this game didn't realize that you could actually pilot the Lunar Whale at first?
When I played this game, I just got the Blockbuster cart that had the save at Magic Sisters and could never beat them. I was like 12 or 13 or something, but yeah.
Krim picking up some Star Veils, which will be nice if he decides to go down to the Land of the Eidolons, the Fey March, the Land of Summoned Monsters, whatever you want to call it, depending on your favorite translation.
My favorite part is saying Fey March because it's the easiest one to remember. That's how I make my decisions,
I mean, I tend to say the longest one because if you ask anybody, I like the sound of my own voice.
I didn't ask anybody though. And on the moon we have a Twin. Nobody likes her.
Nope.
You could see somebody take her as a anchor, but I doubt that we're at that point for Krim.
Yeah, no need to do that. So that does mean we're either at key item locked out of Eddie, or we got to go giant hunt.
Yeah, I think you'll probably see both of our runners play the moon at this point. And you can argue for giant, obviously. I mean, if you hit it and your opponent doesn't do it, it's obviously, almost a guaranteed win. But moon. But if you miss, you're also putting yourself way behind. It's very risky, and you don't want any of the levels at all.
Nope, but Moonblade's going to go ahead and turn in the rat tail he picked up on top of Ordeals. Only turn that. I mean, it's a good trade, the tail of a rat for an apple. I mean, I'm okay with that trade, honestly.
Bad trade, IMO.
Not a fan of apples?
No, I just don't think. I mean, I would want at least banana plus, I think.
Well, I mean, I think yes. Like you're talking to me. Yes, bananas, 100% always.
Right, of course. So I mean, apples are fine. Don't get me wrong, but I'm trading away a rat tail that I had to work. I want at least a banana out of that.
I can respect that. I can 100% respect that.
So Moonblaze doing the turn in here. He will get number 2 lit up here in a bit. And of course, he's our turn of the Rat Tail. Checking the shop here, we've got glass helms, we've got ribbons. And we've got a Leviathan Summon, which nobody's going to pick up because they discarded their Ridius.
Yeah, so Crim now going to go ahead and make the play to the tower here, which is really, really good for him, actually, because it's going to give him the Legend Sword that he's going to need. So that's going to actually allow him to hit that 2 objective as well. What's going to be the interesting thing is going to be from here, where does he choose to go? Because he has a couple of options. He can choose to stay down here and do Fey March. He can choose to go back up and do Odin, or he can choose to go to the moon.
Oh, I was actually going to fight some of these trap chest fights too. Oh, he's killing off his character because he knows Golbez here. Okay.
Yep, he's just speeding up the Golbez stuff.
I can't condone this rose of violence, though. For it.
I mean, I can't either, but the strategy is sound here, just to skip over the paralyzing animation and just guarantee the 2 that you want in the party, which are conveniently enough the 2 that, or did we saw Kane over on Moonblaze's side, but keeping Fu alive is kind of the big one here.
Yeah, Yang has the 5 damage to Golbez, which is nice, but probably not that big of a difference overall. And
no.
So Moonblaze on the Overworld. He's got to make this play, and probably going to see him dive down to the bottom, just given that we need him. That seems to be kind of the standard consensus play because the Ribbon Room has, and it's kind of all tightly grouped there with another 3 checks or so. So when you need multiple items, it tends to be kind of the broad play is let's go of the moon.
Right, and we are definitely at that point where, at least if you're the runners, you have to be thinking, I need, the package. I need the Earth Crystal. I need one of these. I mean, me personally, I want it to be, I want Eddie to be hidden behind the package just because it's the trolliest one.
Well, you also still need the Twin Harp, so, I mean, that's on the table too.
Oh, yes.
Now dance for me, Golbez. Dance, baby.
I mean, and now that you keep bringing up the fact that we're having Golbez dance, does he have I Want to Dance with Somebody on his playlist?
Does he? I don't know. I always picture Golbez as more of an alt-rock guy, just because, the horns.
Oh, I just realized something that you just made me realize something I didn't need to realize. Golbez 100% listens to Nickelback.
I never said that out loud. I want to be clear.
No, you didn't, but you heavily implied it.
This is not my official stance in any way, and the Nickelback was brought up in the context of Free Enterprise. See, I was thinking Golbez as a 90s baby would be more in kind of like the Offspring.
Oh, yeah, I can see that. Well, I'd rather not remember my, stupid 90s music choices.
I mean, neither does Golbez. I mean, look at him. He's wearing, a gigantic, some shoulder pads. Like, he'd rather not remember it either.
Yeah, I mean, the shoulder pads, that's more 80s than 90s.
True.
Yeah. So I guess that begs the question as we're fighting the evil wall over in the Ribbon Room. Chat, and Rivers, and I'll answer the question too. What was the first album you remember buying, not with your parents' money, but with your own money? And yeah.
Album I remember buying with my own money was Tom Petty's Wildflowers.
Wow. Yeah, I'm. That's a lot better than my answer, unfortunately.
Is that why you're not gonna?
No, I will tell you right now, the first album that I bought with my own money was the self-titled debut album from Christina Aguilera.
Nothing wrong with Christina Aguilera.
No, not at all. I just said Tom Petty was a better answer than mine.
Evil Wall is disgusting. This is a bad fight for moonblazewolf, but he's doing very well with it. It's, as you can see, very blink heavy. In a moon spot is always really bad. Managing pretty well here. Only booper down. See, if you had actually said Nirvana Nevermind, that would have been a great answer. So, props. Good place to be.
Unglorious cassette, no less.
I was more of a cassette tape.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like, I never owned too many cassettes, but the first car I ever owned was a 1987 Volkswagen Golf two-door hatchback. And I bring up cassettes because it didn't have a CD player. So in order, if I wanted to play CDs, I had to buy the cassette that had the cord that hooked into your CD player.
My first car was a 1988 Isuzu Trooper. And passenger side door, if you opened it too far, would get locked open. It would get stuck. And I remember driving this car with the side door, trying desperately to find somebody who could help me fix it.
Yeah, no, my first car was just as bad, because that two-door was a two-door hatchback Golf. Neither of the two doors would open from the outside, so I had to run a string attached to the door handle through the trunk. And the trunk was a hatchback that wouldn't latch fully, so you'd be going down the road and going...
Growing up in the 2000s, 80s, what have you, wasn't easy, folks. Anyway, there's free enterprise on, so at least we got that.
There is, but you know, there's only so much we can talk about as the evil wall is getting closer and closer to going crush.
You actually want it to go crush right now. Well, Petrified's really catching up on Moonblaze too. His bees have been petrified. Don't petrify the bees!
Wait, is that fossilized bees?
Could be.
Or are they bees encased in amber?
Thing is, the wall's down.
That is. Now to see if fighting the wall was worth it. What are we going to get in these two chests here? A Masculine and the Artemis bow. No, unfortunately. That was not worth the time. And
0 progression. Interesting thought here, by the way. I don't think either of our runners checked the missed key. Still are missing a missed dragon.
We still are, in fact, missing a missed dragon.
Scenario to be missing a missed dragon in, by the way, because you have only one character that can do real damage to missed dragon when you find it. And very, very tough.
Speaking of missed dragon.
I like to will things into existence sometimes. It's fun. You should try it.
Well, if that's the case, can you will me into existence a winning lottery ticket?
No.
I'll split it 50-50.
I think that... So anyway, the Deem Mist fight, Simbu here. You don't really have Palom with anything better than Quake, so most of the damage here, because you can't berserk these guys without running into this phase where it casts Cold Mist on you over and over again. Rose is so you're just kind of hoping to put enough damage on it while it's in its real form. And so kind of a slog. We see Crim actually taking some grind here. So that leads me to believe he's probably thinking about going to the Fey March rather than...
I mean, that's definitely one of those things where you haven't been down there yet, and you know there's two pretty easy bosses. Quote-unquote easy bosses, I say that. Easy checks to make being down there. And I know he is not the biggest fan of going to the moon. He's been baited by it way too much.
Well, that's unfortunately not going to play out cool. Did he actually turn in the Legend of Adamant yet?
No, he has not.
Okay. Interesting play.
Yeah, he just got out of the tower. Yeah, I've had several DMs from him after either a Free Enterprise race or just playing a seed, and it's a bunch of symbols that I cannot repeat or give sound to, and then moon. Usually it's %sign, hashtag, ampersand, up arrow, %sign, ampersand, moon.
So you're saying he's not happy with the moon?
Pretty much.
I buy it. I don't trade a rat tail for it, though.
Well, there we go. We do have the D-Mist did in fact guard a key item we needed, just not in the roundabout way we were hoping, but there is our twin harp, so now we just need to find Eddie.
So this is an interesting situation to find that in, because now you've got the rest of the moon to check, but you also finish the seed right now. So we've got, I think, one more spot down here, and then the vanilla wild spot that you can kind of pretty easily check. And I think most runners kind of just go with that rather than try to divide everything up.
Yeah, I mean, you're right here. You absolutely check the Ogopogo spot here, 100%. If you go back and check Wyvern 50-50, I think, depending on what you get here, obviously. I mean, if you get the Earth Crystal here, you leave.
And it's free. Free! Free is... After this is actually a great spot for Moonblaze now that he's got 10 key items to pick up a preponderance. You can see him hourglassing and then throwing life potions on them. If you've never played FF, this is commonly referred to as the Vitality glitch. Life potions bring you back alive, of course, and they look at your vitality stat to do that. Characters, typically vitality is, you know, a positive number. Monsters are never programmed to have vitality at all. So what happens is the game realizes that the monster has 0 HP and then counts as another kill. So basically, when you throw a life potion like this, you get an extra kill. And that's why instead of a 20,000 experience, that fight netted Moonblaze 200,000 experience for its entire party.
Yeah, and that's the that entire glitch is the concept behind the D-Machine grind that we mentioned at the very beginning. I wouldn't say the very beginning, but when we got down to the Underworld. So that's one of the few glitches that tends to be allowed in most of the free enterprise races and tournaments. Because there are definite ways that you can completely destroy this game. If you want to see more about how to do that in the vanilla game, then go ahead and search up on Google some AGDQ, and you may or may not find a run done by my co-commentator here that does exactly that. Yes, I'm shamelessly self-promoting you.
How can you self-promote me? How does that make sense?
Hey, I'm shamelessly promoting you. I just start saying shameless and I say self-promotion, so.
Well, thank you for the plug, anyway. And yes, that was a fun for us. by all means. It actually winds up being not anywhere near as broken as FF6 somehow, but
Yeah, that's crazy.
that's another great run you should look up is FF6 New Game Plus % by Nirm.
Yes, that is a fantastic run, and we have got well, we've got some calamari up here.
Good place to start throwing down soap webs. Interesting that Crim is grinding here. He hasn't even checked off the legendary box. I guess he knows that he's going to have to go back there anyway. So,
Right.
but it was interesting because he kind of, I don't think he did any of the Feymarch bot checks, and then just went right here and grinded some more on different enemies. So maybe a change of heart.
Yeah, that is definitely interesting. We see the life glitch happening here on the King Ryu's as well. I think this is just one of those situations where he used up the sirens that he had purchased, got a little bit of a grind in, came here. And like you said, the percentage of checks up here compared to the checks that are in the Feymarch or whatever are definitely better. So that could be exactly where you're going. And if you don't have a lot of sirens and coffins and you have moon access, this is a fairly decent grind spot, especially if you can go ahead and do it fairly easily, like you saw there with that King Ryu fight.
Yeah, another thing about eggs compared to sirens on the moon is that you can't get back attacked on the moon. For whatever reason, they could not properly program that. So that would never happen. And a little bit more consistent. Whereas the egg, of course, as you saw Krim do, Krim got kind of ambushed by an egg, and it took him a little. And so maybe that plays into it as well.
I'm honestly shocked that you can get back attacked by an egg, especially when you're using a siren to call it.
Don't that beat all? Oh, I should note for chat just in case anybody takes this as like important or something. You can't get back attacked when you're not in lunar subterranean. It's only in lunar subterranean you cannot get back attacked.
And after finishing up the what would be the Wyvern boss spot and getting the Bahamut summon, we are back now on the surface of the planet, and more than likely we are going to be heading to Cave Magnus.
That means it's time for Muzak. Well, after we check this D-Mist.
Right, I mean, that makes total sense considering how nice and easy it is.
For us. Just a pass.
For those who may have never played this before, in the vanilla game, the pass gives you access to a little bit of an Easter egg area that's, well, just go ahead and look at it for yourself. But here, that pass unlocks the path to Zeramis, so you can just go to Troya here, hand in the pass, and be immediately warped to Zeramis's floor, so you do not have to traverse the lunar subterranean again.
Yeah, that was one of the most, when me and Board were kind of creating Free Enterprise, that was one of the most controversial additions, I guess. Some people didn't really like that freedom, but I think it adds a lot to the game, and obviously here is a key item in a mode that's usually this long, like usually change a whole lot, it just gives you a little bit more option.
Yep, so go ahead, if you want to go ahead and play the guessing game in Twitch chat, now is a chance. You can guess the song specifically, or if you want to just try and figure out what game it's going to come from or where it's going to come from, by all means go ahead. But this is the one part of the race where everybody is going to be in agreement and happy, because I'm going to shut up and y'all going to get to listen to music.
So I played a seed earlier in RPG music, so I'm going to go with Super Mario RPG. That's going to be my guess.
I'm going to go with Secret of Mana. Although my favorite one to hear is the Punch-Up Key, by the way.
We got an FF9 guess. We got an FF6 guess.
Ooh, I like it.
Chrono Trigger is another one that gets played a lot too. Like those are definitely, we definitely have a lot more Super Nintendo themes, I feel like, than other. We do have some random ones in here too. trying desperate way to get Fu to kill the party before Dark Elf does it for you, because it takes longer animation-wise, and unfortunately, man, we've got Crim down at the very bottom of the ball. That gave Moonblaze some pretty good trouble too. So looking like a tight fight as I begin.
And here we go. Good call on Chrono Trigger, friend. Now, I know you all are very excited to listen to Chrono Trigger, but we do have some things to discuss here, as Crim did go ahead and take down the evil wall to find the reward was pretty much nothing. Going to be much happier with the reward from the Mist Dragon. And we get the Mega Sisters here in the Dark Elf spot. Not the worst things to find here.
This is actually a pretty key moment for how this seed's going to... Because if Crim keeps clearing the moon, he may briefly pull ahead of Moon the correct amount of objectives or whatever if he happens to find, say, an Earth Crystal at the top, whereas back for that unless he finds it right at this moment.
Well, that's not a vanilla Earth Crystal.
Ooh, that is a great find, though.
That is a fantastic find, and one of the 3 best sound effects in this game as well.
So that is a completed Cave Magnus for moonblazewolf. Down to 1 objective, and we've got a pan full of items. So we're diving bottom moon and then leaving immediately. It looks to have paid off pretty well.
Yeah, this is definitely the moment of truth here. Is, does this pan lead to either the package or the Earth Crystal, or is it going to be diving upper moon? Or the craziest answer, is it Cave Bahamut?
I mean, there's always value in the Bahamut sand. We know that.
That sounds like someone who's been burned by that a few times.
And someone who has rode it to many wins before as well.
Yes.
But no, what I'm saying is there is a good chance of that as well. But also, the Giant's still in play as well as a place for our Edward to be placed. We only get a Sand Ruby. I'm not sure if Moonblaze has checked that or not. I know, but we know that is only a Tella, so not interesting from our purposes at all.
No, but we still have a second item that we can get, this time by returning the pan. So, pan, like you said, is a fantastic item because it's one item that leads to 2 great, or I say great items, at least 2 great checks.
2 key item locations, yeah.
But yeah, Firebird is correct down there in chat. Moonblaze loves Tella. In fact, back to that conversation I was having with both of our runners, Moonblaze's preferred party for fighting Zeramis is Rosa, Cecil, Yang, Edge, and the aforementioned Tella. There's the Earth Crystal.
This is interesting. So, I mean, if you're Crim right now, you're in a position where you probably feel behind. You could gamble that giant. Like, that's on the table for sure. And maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't. But that Earth Crystal, at this point, Moonblaze is going to have two out of the 4 find Edward.
Yeah, but this cabin here at the save point and the saving tells me Crim is going to do what we saw Moonblaze do, and that's clear the rest of the bottom of the moon. We'll be happily rewarded with at least the Dark Imps at the Ogopogo spot. But yeah, I don't necessarily know if Crim would be, he probably does feel behind, but he's not one who tends to be reckless in his gambling. I know me personally, I'd be like, I'm all about, okay, what statistical places do people not want to check? Okay, I'm going to go for theirs as soon as possible. That's the way I tend to play. I'm very much a riverboat gambler. But Crim also doesn't have the Luca key, as Fred's pointing out here, because he hasn't gone and cleared the buried basement yet.
Yep. It's a tough situation to be in, for sure. I will say, Crim is on the moon. Like, I feel like his fights on the moon have been pretty crisp. I think he gained some time on Moonblaze, particularly on that Evil Wall fight, but
yeah, but the fights you're going to find here in the tower aren't going to be very difficult at all, because we have Nuke, which is basically the sub name of the seed is we have Nuke.
Yeah, Fusui is pretty good. Especially when you get him this early. We have a Cecil.
We do have a Cecil, and so that's fun, but not what we're looking for.
But yeah, at this point now, we don't have very many. Nobody was going to want to commit extra grinding 1/3. He's probably going to become roadkill. But Cecil was.
There we go.
Cecil was guarding the Bard, and you get to go mode.
Yep, so with that is our 5th objective obtained, which we are going to get the crystal. We do have the pass over on Moonblaze's side, so now the question remains, I believe there is a traditional question that does get asked around these parts, so do you want the honors, Rick?
Well, first we've got to take care of the rest of this dungeon, you know? There's still a boss here that could definitely...
I mean, true, but I figured I'd get that ready to go for you. If you do want it, by all means, it is yours.
I'm gonna put this curse ring on Edward, who we're keeping. So that's a fun thing already. I guess to explain strategy. Ooh, kind of a nasty fight, actually. To explain strategy-wise why you would keep Edward in this spot, you want the lowest agility character. And Edward being the level 5 that he joins at is almost as low as you can get right now. And the cursed ring makes him as low as you can get. So you want to knock off that Edward during this fight, or let Val do it for him.
Yeah, sometimes, the boss just says, I don't like you either.
Yeah, Valpolis and Kane always had some chemistry going on, so definitely helping him out. I apologize. Valpolis and Hotbot have always had great chemistry.
Yeah. I'm still reminded of the scene where you run into Valvalis in the after years, where you're on the moon and you run into it, and Theodore's like, "Oh my god!" and you're just like, "Wait, what?" And then it's Valvalis, and you realize what's going on.
Yeah, I'm reminded of playing that wanting to forget it, and thank you for making that pop up in my memory again.
Hey, I'm not saying that the after years was great. And hey, look at that! There is the package from the tower. So if Eddie wasn't there, we were gonna get him no matter what.
So there is absolutely no more value left on the moon, unfortunately.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, the only good thing that came from the after years are the adult Porum and Palom sprites.
Oh, Porum is way cool, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Too angsty for me, but that's okay.
I said the sprites. I didn't say the characters themselves. I just said the sprites.
I understand. I'm just for all the people in the world who are thinking at this point, man, gotta play the after years.
You definitely don't have to play the after years, and no DH Stom. We're not talking about Kane's Vidal Sassoon hairstyle.
I mean,
So yeah, Crim unfortunately going to go ahead and take this final moon boss fight here, and as we know, there's nothing of value to be obtained here.
Yeah, Moonblaze has actually completed the entire seed because he found the pink tail but rejected it and reset out of it. Anyway, there's the question that reached the final boss of the game, Zeramus, is something like, who is Butt? So, TGE, who is Butt?
Well, I'm not sure who is but I want to see something fun. I want to see something crazy. I mean, I'm not sure how many people saw the Twitter joke from the Super Bowl halftime show, but no, give me something I haven't seen before. Give me Zeroma HD. That's my personal favorite.
I would like to see, of course, the greatest disease sprite, which is Barclaymus.
Oh, Barclaymus is so good. And we have found our last moon boss over on Crim's side, Ogopogo in the Pale Dim spot.
And we appear to be fighting. I have no idea what game that is from. Hopefully Scott will enlighten us.
Yep, Vile Boss from Wild Arm.
It kind of the back left of that sprite kind of looks like a bird, and I just saw like a bird eye.
It really does. You know, not necessarily value, but I will say that is hilariously appropriate. Ogopogo guarding the Leviathan summon.
Very on brand. Crim leaving Cave Bahamut behind. Probably is going to work out for him, unless he chooses to go back there before he does the Barren Basement, of course. Obviously, about, finishing the seed, everything. Moonblazewolf has a pretty bulletproof ZT. Simbu/Fu with 2100 HP is usually going to be okay. And this is one of those fights where you just kind of play over time with all the berserkers.
Yep, Berserker Rydia is always a fun thing to see.
We do have Berserker Bees! Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a Berserker?
No, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be, no.
I was good. I only had like 2 puns all night.
Yeah, it was better than I thought.
Like, I'm not saying that I was on my best behavior, so you guys would invite me back to do another one of these, but...
Anyway, tell me more about Zika Mist.
I know nothing. I know nothing. I literally read Wild Arm's final boss out of the chat. I have never played it.
I will say, Moonblazewolf not getting a ton of damage here without having like a Paladin Cecil or something like that. kind of scraping more for damage here, and you're seeing like 1500s and 2000s instead of like 4 or 6000. So part 3 Berserkers go pretty slow fight.
Well, I mean, like you said, no Paladin Cecil, and one of your Berserkers is Rosa.
And it's not Rosa, it's bees. But the bees are doing work.
The bees are doing work.
Making some honey, for sure.
Crim is going to go ahead and discover that the tune for the Twin Harp is in fact Chrono Trigger, and this is going to lead him to Edward, which is good. Bad part is he still needs to find himself a Luca key.
And of course, us being omniscient and all-knowing, and having watched the run opposite, know that that's in the Baron Castle basement. But unfortunately, Krim does not know that, and however, it will not be a while. That's what's happening on Moonblaze's stream.
And y'all give me crap when I make one pun. Rivers is making them all night and no one said a word. It's amazing what a reputation will do for you.
It was like create the game, make all the resources for the game, and people just let you do anything.
True. I mean, you know, like a boo reaction at least once.
We got rocks. We've only got Simbu up now.
But we are in rocks. Ooh, this is close.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a lot we can do about restream side problems if the affected players aren't. Well, there we go. He's dead.
205 HP, which is 204 HP than you needed.
So the GG for moonblazewolf. SRL time of 1:45:27. And eventually we will see if we can get him into the chat to pop in and tell us what he thought about finding every key item in the game.
So yeah, what's going to be interesting here is more than likely Krim is going to go for the Earth Crystal next. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes after that. And I heard the Discord today, which means I believe we've got ourselves a moonblazewolf.
Yeah, GG, moonblazewolf.
Hey, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Awesome. Thank you.
So, 17 key. Did it at least feel pretty easy? Because it felt pretty easy watching from just having that food the entire way almost.
I mean, I think towards the end it actually made me a little bit nervous just because I felt like I was playing pretty conservatively along the way. And towards the end, I kind of could tell that if Edward was in the giant and Krim decided to go for it, I might just, not get across the finish line in time. Because the foo was right on your way. So, I mean, I'm really happy to have gotten the first place. It was a pretty interesting seed, I would say, all the way through.
Yeah, had some Gaia drums early on. Didn't really seem like you had problems with any of the bosses up until maybe the Fabul Gauntlet down there and Wyvern, of course.
Yeah, I was kind of frustrated with myself because I figured out the Wyvern by turning the battle speed down to 5 really quick, and then I immediately realized I had left it on 5 for the Gauntlet, and that's just about the worst feeling. I almost reset, but I was like, no, I'm going to be able to like 1 or 2 hit kill everything anyway, but it's just so slow. It was so frustrating, but yeah, and then like the Fey March had absolutely nothing, which was also frustrating, but you know, that's just one little thing along the way, and I felt like a lot of the seed did go pretty smoothly, like you said.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like you weren't feeling too bothered either way. Like they were, you know, as you said, 1 or 2 hiccups here and there, but game was very generous today. Game gave you a lot of easy bosses and tough spots.
Yeah, it wasn't particularly hard. It also put a lot of really good equipment in my path early on, so I appreciated that. But again, I felt like I played this pretty conservatively. Like I basically full cleared the earth, and I did my routing to do so in a way that was probably not particularly optimized. So, I mean, I was glad to have gotten the win, and that Z fight was pretty lucky at the end too. I mean, I had faith in Simbu to bring it home for me, but that was a little closer than I thought it was going to be.
So, Chad we made some notes, by the way. Chad wanted to know why Simbu and not Simfu.
I mean, I can't do Simbu dirty like that.
And they also wanted to know why you didn't deem it necessary to
Sorry, I missed the end of that question there.
The job dwarf.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, that's a mistake. That is thankfully not a fatal mistake in my run tonight. But yeah, that's definitely bad juju. I don't want to do that again.
For the record, ceramics engineer.
Nice. Seems fitting for a dwarf who lives in a giant oven.
Really does. And just to interrupt here for a minute, Crim did go ahead and kill the officer in the basement of Barrack Castle to pick up the Luca key, and now is making his way through the sealed cave as opposed to doing the Earth Crystal check, which is interesting because based on what we know, he's got Legend Sword, he's got Adamant, he's got the Luca key. The only thing he should need at this point is to go find Eddie, which 3 of the 4 checks he would have. And we know, because we've seen it, that the package is at the Earth Crystal.
Yeah, unfortunately for you, Moonblaze, won't turn up anything important at all.
Yeah, it's just when you're getting down to the wire with those character checks, you know, you always... It's always interesting because it could just be up there at the giant, and if somebody wants to pull the trigger and do that, you might just lose to him. So, I mean, I'm just glad it worked out tonight.
So, we're going to put you on the spot here. What 1-0 player do you want to play?
Oh man, that's a good question. I mean, I don't really have too strong of a preference. It's pretty early on in the event. I can't really say at this point, honestly. I haven't been paying a ton of attention to who's won and who's lost, so I just hope for another couple good matches so I can make the knockout stage. And I mean, everybody's getting really, really good right now. It's been pretty amazing doing a lot of the async races and practice races the last couple weeks, and I mean, sometimes it makes you feel really good, and a lot of times it makes you feel like you're just kind of way behind the curve, so it feels good. I feel like very lucky just to get any wins at this point, because I don't think there's going to be any easy matches.
Well, absolutely. Tonight, and look forward to seeing who you get paired up with round 2.
Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to it as well. Thanks for doing the restream and everything tonight, guys.
All right, take care and have a good one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
So, Crim is doing the unthinkable and diving into the Fey March and costing himself more time.
Oh, that's right. For some reason, I was thinking that... I know that Twin Heart bled to the Earth Crystal. He hasn't done the pan yet. That's the problem. Like, wait a second. He's got the Earth Crystal. No, he doesn't, because he hasn't done the pan yet. That's why I was confused.
Well, hopefully that mega nuke to the face will be a strong warning sign to haste us. But unfortunately, given that he's already 10 minutes behind, he may feel like that if he's just like metagaming it out. That
Yeah, it definitely leads to some interesting decisions here. But as you just saw, as Moonblaze mentioned, turning the battle speed down, which is weird because setting it to 6 turns it down.
Crim still has a very rough situation here because his anchor is pretty fast. I don't know if he has... So he can get out of it that way, but I don't know if he knows that or not. There we go. Alright. Try 3. Let's do this.
Once more with feeling.
Let me talk a little bit about the agility system and why curse rings. Because all of the game's the way it works with our flag set turned on scales off of the middle character, making the blow increases the speed of everybody else on the team, which is important. It also is what the speed of the enemy. Every boss in the game is based on, in the vanilla game, is based off Cecil, and then Free Enterprise specifically is based on your middle slot character. So if you use ability, you actually make these fights that are in the Underworld that are a little bit faster, because all your 4 characters get more actions, more turns, and they are faster combined than the actual boss.
Yeah, but right now with the setup, Wyvern is still ridiculously fast.
Yeah, I don't know if Crim is... No, man. like it is doable. We saw Moonblaze do it, but it's a rough spot, and it's... I think we're still... Sometimes in Free Enterprise, it's even if you know that you can beat a tough boss in a tough spot, the time investment is so bad that you don't want to do it anyway. That Crim is lost, and he does as well. So that doesn't really help him very much, but sometimes that you can use that to kind of get away from a tough spot.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, and not just in Free Enterprise itself, but in randomizers in general. Especially, some of the RPG randomizers. If you're bashing your head against something and it keeps kicking the crap out of you, sometimes the better option is just to take a step back and come back later if you have to. Because, yes, there's something to be said about, hey, I took down that horribly, awful section, I got through it. Yeah, it's great, but if you're in a race type of deal, sometimes discretion is the better part of valor. Come back later when you may have better items, you may have, you may be more prepared, or leave, and who knows, you might not even need to come back to that spot depending on how it ends up.
All that said, this has been a great recovery by Crim, getting 2 and Berserk quickly so that he has enough ATB to kind of speed through some of these cures. So this is a winnable fight.
Made extra nice there by the fact that Wyvern was nice enough to nuke Yang instead of Rosa.
And down goes Ugly. He's probably going to rage when he sees that he only gets a heroin robe here.
I know Crim well enough to know exactly what's going through his head right now, and it's not going to be anything, rude, but I'm pretty sure he's probably cursing my name, blaming this on me somehow.
Do people blame things on you?
Yeah, once or twice a week.
That seems silly and selfish to me. I think they should own their mistakes.
I mean, I'm not going to tell people to not own their mistakes, but I'm also going to tell them, I've got large, broad shoulders, so if you really feel the need to blame something on somebody, go ahead, blame me, that's fine. Just know that it was your mistake and you're wrong.
Inventory and disgust. I like that. That's a good reaction right there.
That is a great reaction.
No thank you to you, jerks.
Yeah, the gauntlet fight itself, as we mentioned earlier, this is an easy fight. It's just time-consuming.
Yeah, there are some spots where Gauntlet can be very... if you get it in an early game location, where you happen to have some low-level characters, especially, or as I mentioned way earlier in this run, the Ogopogo spot is really bad for Gauntlet. This is a flag called Alt Gauntlet, which actually takes monster. This one actually, in general, you find that these monsters are easier than fighting the actual boss you would fight here. It does take some time. Or sorry, as TGE says, it does take some time.
Yeah, I remember watching, I forget who I was watching do it, but yeah, Gauntlet at Ogopogo, and I may have been, watching with some people, we may have been in a voice call, and there may have been 5 straight minutes of me cackling like a madman.
Somehow, it's enemy of the game. We don't know how, but it is, and yeah. you don't want to fight that.
No, no, you don't.
Clapper grind is on the table now for Grim.
It is. We already had a little bit of an egg grind, a little bit of King Ryu grind, so there's really no need for the Clapper grind.
I know, right? I mean, it's right there, man. Gotta take it.
It is. I mean, and I'm also not gonna lie, there is part of me that the first time you mentioned the Clapper grind, or the fact that the Clapper was an enemy in here, I really wanted to make a Jason Garrett joke, but this is a video game stream and not a football stream.
See, the actual clapper, the clap on, clap off thing.
True.
But Jason Garrett also works, yeah.
I figured you, of all people, would appreciate the Jason Garrett reference.
Do I know football? Is that a thing? Interesting.
I mean, no is a pretty loaded word, but understand.
Fair. Okay. Good try with the coffin, Crim. Good try. Not vulnerable to instant death, unfortunately, but good try.
That's more inventory rage.
And Crim is going to come out of this and get his lovely spoon. That's stay.
Yep.
You can't. There's nothing in FF4 that you can emote your anger, such as like a Fred Coughlin patented bomb drop, but the silent stare that.
Yeah, that's always a good one. Just the.
the Adamant and Legend story at least here, so we do have only one spot left to fill up on that board. And he is hiding behind the Earth Crystal, which is stuck behind a pan. So Crim shouldn't have problems finishing the seed from now. It's just annoyed at himself for how long it took.
Oh, I guarantee he's going to be frustrated with himself.
Yep, heading to the pan now. I believe that's the only thing he has left to do, right?
Pan to Earth Crystal to Eddie, yeah.
And Cape Bahamut. He hadn't done Cape Bahamut. On the board for him. Get it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. But so we're going to go ahead and get our pan here, pick up our Sand Ruby, which we are not going to use, which we'll turn in to get the Earth Crystal, which will go and get Cecil and Eddie. Yeah. We all know how this works.
I have a, and I want to be clear, this is entirely superstition. My superstitious theory, start out with Yang, or get Yang early. The pan is way more likely to help you out because she wants to do you solid.
I do enjoy that theory.
And once again, I'm saying this, and I'm saying, as a developer, this is an actual superstitious theory that I enjoy.
Hey, everyone's allowed to have their superstitious theories, and you know, if a developer can have that who understands how the code works, then the rest of us certainly can.
Crystal, so Crim can now officially get his Eddie out of the Tower of Zod, and he will be in go mode as soon as that happens.
Yep, and I know I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream with the conversations about favorite and least favorite character. Crim's least favorite character is Edward. And I'm pretty sure that after this, it's even more so his least favorite character.
Really hope so. I'm glad that Edward stirs such passion in the community.
Well, you know, Edward is one of those characters where if you're playing the seed, if you're playing the game, you either love him or hate him. If you're watching, you love him because you know most people hate him.
So from a pure like Schadenfreude standpoint, you love him, is what you're saying?
From a pure Schadenfreude standpoint, my favorite start to this game is Tella Edward.
True. I do enjoy. Well, I mean, I guess personally, Tella, because that's like the lowest damage output possible.
Yeah, or actually, I mean, if we're talking pure Schadenfreude from the start, poor Meridia.
See, but even then, you find a hair on rub, you get some power staffs going. Like,
right.
There are ways to make those guys bearable.
Yeah, or you get the lucky Sylph.
Yeah. Sylph carry.
God, Sylph is so broken.
Didn't Sylph die sometimes for me.
Oh, wait.
To the Bahamut here. Has to throw those neglected Star Veils back up, it looks like.
Yep. But just enough Star Veils to cover the whole team.
Everybody's happy, except for Crim.
Yup. And it also wouldn't surprise me if we see Crim do the same thing we saw Moonblaze do, and that's use Eddie as the agility anchor.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely... he does have a curse ring. He might not feel bothered either way. I don't know if his Tom has nuke yet or not. by the HP value.
Yeah, I mean, it also wouldn't surprise me if, because I know he doesn't tend to like hybrid teams very much when it comes to dealing with Zeramis. It wouldn't surprise me if you see him pick up Cecil here and grind him up, so he has a team and then put Edward there in the agility slot, and honestly go with a team of Cecil, Yang, Eddie, Kane, and Rosa. That wouldn't surprise me here. And yes, I said Rosa over Fu because Crim tends to prefer Rosa as his healer in the physical party over Fu.
We're getting deep into the Crim lore here tonight, folks. But we do have Edward, so we do have go mode. And while we have a chance here, as Crim is ready, I give a thanks to our tracker Aliceel, be on top of everything. She's doing a lot of work for the tournament and doing everything. So give a shout out to our restreamer Voidrak, who has been a big boon as far as helping get a lot of these races organized. And even though he will not admit it himself, has been doing a really good job of all that stuff as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like the efficiency of getting this stream up and running has been absolutely fantastic. Huge shout outs to Voidrak. And Crim, at least proving me partially correct, did choose to grab Cecil as opposed to keep Callum there.
Gotta kill Cecil. We're gonna see the Cecil anchor here.
Maybe? Yep, we are gonna see the Cecil anchor here.
We're going vanilla strats. You don't have to do this. Kind of in the way the vanilla game works is they don't give you anybody who actually can do damage here. You really have no choice but to jump.
Yeah, but even in this case,
Crumble.
You've got so much damage at this point that...
And you were right. You have the anchor Cecil and a Rosa Fu Kane Yang fight, which I believe is exactly what Moon plays for a different anchor.
Yep. I mean, I can understand using the Cecil anchor. I can also understand using the Eddie anchor, just, hide him in your cut and call it good. At least with the Cecil anchor, even if you don't have any levels, just keep him at level 1, because that's what you get. Paladin Cecil is level 1. You can still do some amount of damage there with the proper weapons. It won't be a lot, but it will still be some. Of course, until you inevitably die in a big bang.
And as Crim does this final flight, of course, thank the folks at Randomania for letting been a longtime partner for Free Enterprise. We do a Friday weekly for them, and with the staff and the stuff they come up with here.
Yeah, no, and we are happy to have you guys here anytime you want. But yeah, there's the Artemis bow and arrows down on Rosa. So yeah, we are getting physical party pretty much like you saw with Moonblaze. Rosa gonna be putting in the work. But here we go on the path to Zeramis, so we will go ahead and get our second Zeramis fight here on the evening, and gonna be pretty much the same style of fight you saw from Moonblaze, just given the party composition.
I am not coming through.
Poitrak dropping the Berserker for Rosa with arrows, and I am okay with that. Okay, that's just the Cecil outfit. I thought during the Valvalis fight that the bottom half of Cecil had been hit by Ray, not the fact that the bottom half of Cecil's outfit was just gray.
He's wearing stone, folks. Boy, huh?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with stone armor except the fact that it's clunky and very difficult to wear.
And of course, if you missed it earlier, we've got her. Awful.
Oh, that nuke barely keeping Fu alive. 141.
Fu is very.
Yeah, but there is the dead Cecil, there is Yang drinking the Bacchus, and we're going to have dual Berserker strats with some healing and probably supplemented by a little nuke, so the aforementioned semi-hybrid strategy happening.
Yep. Gonna see a lot of punching.
Nothing wrong with that, although I just realized looking at this background now, and usually I don't pay attention to the background with the Zero Miss sprites, but looking at this background, the way it moves, can we get a nightmare from Kirby's Adventure? Because that's the exact background you're fighting in Kirby's Adventure with the nightmare.
I mean, we can get whatever you want as long as there is a form.
I know, but that requires, like, spelling.
Does it, though? I mean, I swear Skull has added things that have been not spelled properly.
I mean, probably. What's going to happen is I'll mention it now, and then, you know, we'll be done. We'll go through the interview, and then I'll completely forget about it.
a lot of you'd be interested to know when you are a randomized developer. A lot of the feedback that you get is very. I've thought about this for 15 minutes.
Yeah, like when it comes to like the features and things like that, like the actual effect gameplay, I know for a fact I'm not smart enough to come up with anything like that. But when it comes to aesthetic things that I know it's just a hey, this would be a cool thing to have from an aesthetic perspective, I am all about, oh, I thought about this for like 10 minutes and we're good.
Anyway, Crim making short work of this fight. Both of our parties have lined up with Rosa being the main damage dealer.
I mean, as it should be, with that full-on Elsa dress she's got going on, she better be the high damage dealer.
Let it go, TGE, come on, let it go.
Oh, but Rivers, do you want about the snowman?
I don't.
Oh.
Fun story. South Texas means that I have seen snow less than 10 times in my life.
I've seen snow 10 times this month.
Do you hate to see it?
Yes, because usually it means I have to snow blow and it sucks. In fact, we got another 4 inches today.
Interesting. We got no inches today.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, you know. That's the nature of that. I will rather take the snow than to deal with, you know, the massive fluctuating temperatures, the rain, and all the crap you get down in Texas.
It's fine. It's all good. Still looking like we're on pretty good pace here for this Zeramus fight. Zikamis should be round of attacks from Udio or so.
Yeah, we're at the point where we got everything was nullified, so just gonna reapply everything. Oh, Rosa's out of arrow!
However, this is hilarious because now we get Rosa. I'm for it. I think it's great swag.
It's fantastic swag. I really want Rosa to get the last hit because we are in rock space now. Come on, Rosa. Come on, punchy Rosa.
Take it down.
Punchy Rosa.
Punchy Rosa.
No! So close. So close to punchy Rosa.
Well, anyway, CrimsonAvix. I win the race, but he won our hearts, and that's the most important thing.
I guarantee he will tell you he wants nothing to do with winning my heart. Right, Crim?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, we are.
Okay, first of all, I want to apologize to everyone in chat for making them listen to TGE for 34 more minutes than they should have. Second of all, I want to file a complaint to the Lunarian complaint department that my curse string was broken.
Well, the Lunarian complaint department has received your request, and unfortunately, it got eaten by a couple of clappers, and no further action will be taken.
No, I mean, Guggen Moonblaze, I just decided to do everything I needed to not do and forget about all my easy checks. So, yeah, that will cost you a lot of time when you fight battles you don't need to fight.
Fortunate to see you dip back into the Fey March, but I totally get it, especially seeing, at that point he'd been done for 10 minutes or so.
Not only that, I forgot I had Pan. I had my tracker there, but I just stopped looking at it.
Yeah, that'll do it. Seed seemed pretty easy. I mean, you got...
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the seed itself, any of the bosses that could have been trolly were either in easy locations and some of the harder ones. The seed overall itself didn't seem like it was anything too much on the crazy side. But I guess I'll ask the operative question here, less about the seed. You still hate Edward, yes?
I've always hated Edward, and this just shows it even more. Because, I mean, what is Edward doing in Zot anyway? He should be laying in his bed, or laying in a bed, in maybe Kaiko or something, where, I could have just gotten him with the Sand Ruby.
Well, Cecil needed a hot...
Yeah, the problem is that Cecil didn't even work for me. I'm like, oh, great, I get the drop Quake Kid for an easy anchor, and, I mean, Cerberus was quite a bit faster than I expected him to be.
Yeah, it could definitely be a battle speed issue.
But we're good. Good game to Moonblaze, and yeah, we got 4 more weeks of this, and I enjoy playing the game, so...
Well, one loss certainly does not disqualify you from anything going forward, and obviously best of luck next round. Hopefully do better.
Yeah, not a problem. I do it just to put on a show and enjoy the community. I don't get to do much outside of this, so this is going to be a lot of fun. And thanks to you two for calling it in, Poydrak, and everyone else who's helped out tonight.
Not a problem. It was a pleasure. And you definitely entertained the community because we were all chanting in the end for Punchy Rosa.
Yeah, I should have probably put more arrows on her after, only having 6 Artemis, but... yeah, it's good.
But with that, anything else you would like to say before we get on out of here?
No, I want to get on out of here, so, yeah, I'm at it. Thanks all.
Not a problem. So, Thank you very much, Crim. Thank you, Moonblaze. So on behalf of both of our runners, that would be CrimsonAvix and moonblazewolf, our amazing tracker behind the scenes, who had to put up with listening to both me and Rivers for 2.5 hours, plus her heart, Alex Al. And of course, our restreamer, Toydrak. I'm TGE. That's been Rivers McCown. This has been the Fabul Gauntlet Swiss Round 1 here on Rainmania 2. And I just want to remind everybody to, no matter what it is you're doing, always remember, keep hailing. Have a good one, y'all.